Bella had buckled herself from the vehicle. He went back to the vehicle, and at that point, Bella said, "Please, Daddy, do not do to me what you just did to Cece."
Nestled 30 miles north of Denver, in the small town of Frederick, Colorado, lies a community shattered by a horrific crime. The Watts family, once a picture of domestic bliss, was torn apart in a brutal and calculated manner. Chris and Shannon Watts, along with their two young daughters, Bella and Celeste, appeared to have it all. But behind the facade, a storm of deceit and violence was brewing. It was August 13, 2018, when Shannon Watts vanished, taking her daughters with her. The police were called and a desperate search began. But little did they know, the truth was far more sinister than anyone could have imagined. Chris Watts, the devoted husband and father, was quick to play the role of the concerned spouse. But as the days passed, cracks began to show in his story. What drove Chris to such a horrifying act? Was it the affair with Nicole Kessinger, the financial strain, or something more sinister lurking in the shadows of his mind? Join us as we piece together the chilling puzzle of the Watts family annihilation. The Watts family lived in Frederick, Colorado, a small town with a population of just 14,000 people. Chris Watts was born on May 16, 1985, and worked as an operator for Anadarko Petroleum Corporation. Shannon Watts, born on January 10, 1984, was a nurse specialist at a local children's hospital from 2013 to 2016, and later became an independent representative for a health and wellness company. They had two daughters, Bella, born on December 17, 2013, and Celeste, born on July 17, 2015. The story begins 3 days before Shannon's disappearance. She was on a business trip with a friend Nicole in Arizona. On August 11th, Shannon noticed something unusual in their shared bank account. Chris had spent over $60 at a local restaurant, claiming he was at a baseball game with friends. But Shannon smelled a rat. The bill added up to 2 people, and she suspected an affair. When Shannon returned home early on August 13th, she confronted Chris about his affair. An argument ensued, and Shannon ended the conversation with a chilling threat. "You're never going to see your kids again." Chris snapped. He strangled Shannon to death, and their daughter Bella walked in, asking, "What's wrong with mommy?" Chris told Bella that her mother was sick, but she would be fine. He wrapped Shannon's body in bed sheets and dragged her downstairs into the truck, with Bella watching in horror. Celeste was awake by now. Chris grabbed both girls and put them in the truck, with their mother's body on the floor by their feet. They drove an hour from their home to Survey 319, an oil well site that Chris frequently visited for work. Once there, Chris smothered both of his daughters to death, Celeste first, then Bella. He buried Shannon in a shallow grave just beyond the perimeter of Survey 319 and dumped both of his daughters in individual oil well tanks. After disposing of the bodies, Chris drove to work to start his shift. On the way, he looked up the lyrics to a song by Metallica, Battery, which contains the lyrics, "Cannot kill the family." He then made several phone calls, one to the children's school to notify them that he was enrolling both of his kids out of school. He also contacted a realtor to start discussions on selling the house and texted his new girlfriend to talk about their future together. As the police investigated, they uncovered Chris's affair with Nicole Kessinger. Detectives noticed his broken alibi and the inconsistencies in his story. Chris failed a polygraph test miserably, and under pressure, he admitted to murdering Shannon. But the chilling truth didn't stop there. Chris also admitted to murdering both of his daughters, claiming that Shannon had smothered them to death. However, 3 months later, before standing trial, he confessed to murdering his daughters as well.
Watts quietly responded, "Yes, sir," when asked if he understood his charges. 9 felonies, including 3 counts of first-degree murder, 1 for Shanann, 1 for Celeste, and 1 for Bella, his entire family.
On November 19, 2018, Chris Watts was sentenced to 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole. He was given 2 life sentences each per person under the age of 12 years old. So what was Chris's motive? The most likely motive is that he killed them only so he could get what he wanted, without having to go through financial or emotional ruin. Chris was planning on murdering his family for quite some time. He shared that time was moving so fast during the crime that a lot of his actions were impulsive and without thought. This included the moments that he choked both of his girls to death. It's impossible for Chris to get out of prison with his sentence. He will die behind bars. Serves him right. Stone cold monster. But the story doesn't end there. Since their murders over 2 years ago, 2,825 Saratoga Trail has remained vacant and empty. The property was originally put on the market for just over $600,000, but no one was interested in buying it for market value. Wonder why?